good. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Miss Carolyn. Good morning, Miss ZG. Oh. Good morning, Miss Carol. Good morning, Miss Valika. Happy, what's today? Wednesday. Hey, Miss Monica, you done with physical therapy? Good morning, Miss Akira. Happy Wednesday, ladies. You just literally getting up. Me too. Me too. I can't lie to y'all. Your girl be trying to sleep. But I did not sleep well last night for 2 reasons. Well, 3. Perry and Minna, as my best friend says. And then your girl was trying to get this Coach notebook off the Coach Outlet site, this leopard Coach notebook, and I got it. I got it to add to my collection. Good morning, Miss On an Island. What's one? Good morning, Miss Ray. Yes, ma'am, I'm done. Yes. Good morning, Miss Gail. I'm happy you're done. Why does this stick out like this? Let me wrap this around. I need to do something to myself today. So today is going to be a maintenance day. I'm going to paint my nails. I'm going to give myself a manicure, paint my nails. I'm going to wax. I'm going to put my lashes back on. And all of the things. Good morning, Miss Call Me Lexi. Good morning, Miss Janicia. Good morning, Miss Nene. Good morning, Miss Nisa, baby. Hey, happy Wednesday. Oh, yes, they dropped their leopard, the outlet. Okay, not the retail. But the outlet dropped their leopard notebook covers. So, do I have my notebook cover in here? Why I don't got it in here? Oh, I probably do. Hold on. Uh-oh. Yeah, I almost fell out this chair the other day. Hey, Crystal. Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Dakira, you got my number. Do you still have my number? I think you do. So y'all know I bought this Coach notebook back in May, June. So I turned it into my on-the-go planner. I added, sorry for stuff coming out. I added a pocket. I put my mini happy planner in here. I even have a little charm, and I have an idea to make some more charms to fit in here. I can't wait. But I added the little charm, and you know, I just did the thing, and I really, really love this thing. I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna start, I wouldn't say I'm collecting them because I want to use mine. I know a lot of people just collect them. Good morning, Miss T. Miller. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Miss Latoya. Happy Wednesday. Y'all know I can't see. That's just another thing. I need to make me an eye doctor appointment. But I had got this one because I was going to carry this one for a couple of months in the fall. But baby, they had that leopard print drop. And I was hoping that they were going to have a leopard tote because I want to get me another Coach tote bag because me and Pork Chop going to be on the go. I got activities I want us to do. We ain't just going to be in the house since I'm going to have him Monday through Friday all day from like a real daycare, we gonna be on the go. So I wanted to get like a tote bag where I can put, or maybe even a backpack where I can put his stuff in there, and then I can put my stuff in there. But they didn't have one. They didn't have a leopard tote, so I bought this. But last night they were like the leopard cover notebook covers were gonna drop, and the girl said, not the girl, the lady, Kaya Nikki. I don't know if you follow her on TikTok. Anyway, that's how I got into all of this. Her. So she said last night that they were going to drop the leopard print, right? And you had the drop is anywhere from 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. I was like, man, I already knew I wasn't going to stay up. So I set an alarm. Anyway, the good Lord woke me up at about 3:50, okay? And it was still available because she said they were only going to have limited editions, limited supplies. Baby, I got it. Good morning, Miss Natarsa. You did damage at Coach this morning. Oh, you were shopping online. Good morning, Miss Michelle. Good morning, Miss Angela. Sorry I missed y'all. Good morning, Miss Cassandra. Good morning, Miss Nisa. Nisa, honey. Happy Wednesday, ladies. Good morning, Miss Naturally Reed. So yeah, so now I got 3 in my collection. They had one, a varsity one, which was like a deep blue with like a red stripe. And I thought about it, but I was like, am I really going to carry that? Am I really going to use that? So I'm trying to be intentional about what I purchase, but still, it's a bit of a collection. I have some ones that I've seen that they've already released that I'm going to go on Mercari and eBay and all of the things. And then I want to go on Japanese eBay and buy me a Louis Vuitton one. But that's, you know, listen, I don't know if y'all know. Good morning, Miss Stacy. You got another Rowan? You know, I want the blue denim Rowan, and I'm going to have to go on a site, you know, a resale site to purchase it. And so I have a goal that I have something I have to pay off first. And once that's paid off, which should be in the next month, once that's paid off, I'm going to get that denim Rowan, because I just can't stop thinking about it. I wish I would have known, because I really wasn't into this earlier this year, but I wish I would have known about that early on. I kind of want the black one now, but I got so many black purses. Thank you. Happy birthday, Miss Naturally. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. And your daughter. Oh, happy birthday to both of y'all. Happy birthday. Oh, what a blessing. What a blessing to see another year. Happy birthday. Everybody, y'all tell Miss Naturally happy birthday. She's the sweetest. Y'all, she is so sweet. Y'all tell her happy birthday to your baby. Yeah, it really is a blessing to have a birthday. And I know, I was watching TikTok, as I always am. I don't even know why I start the sentence off like that. But I was watching TikTok, and there was this, there's this girl I follow. And I still follow her, because this is the thing about me. I don't judge. I may not agree with how you do things or how you interpret things. But if you give me some value in whatever content you're showing, I will continue to watch you. You know, again, a broken clock is right twice a day, baby. Okay? You had a black one? Yes, every year, every day is a blessing. It is. And so, you know, I have different perspectives on things based on what I've been through. We all do, right? We look at things through our own colored glasses, which are colored by our experiences. And I'm gonna get to the topic soon, because baby, it's gonna be good. But they are in like I don't want to say extreme or radical, because that's what they believe, right? They're Christians, but they are like, they are, I don't know how to say this, because I think we're all super Christians, right? But they they are very strict with how they live their lives, and I can admire that. That takes a lot of discipline. They don't celebrate Christmas, which I get that. They don't celebrate holidays, but they said they don't celebrate birthdays, right? And they were like, birthdays are a form of self-worship and stuff like that. And I see where they were coming from, but I don't necessarily agree with it, because I think that the good Lord does want us to celebrate that he picked us, right? That he put us in our mother's womb and picked us to be here. And especially when you go through things where you realize life is really short and precious, I think it's okay. Now, sometimes the birthdays be getting out of hand. I ain't gonna lie. And that's why I said I see where they coming from. But to tell someone happy birthday, and I know that's what Jehovah Witnesses, from what I understand, and I don't want to offend anyone, but I guess that's what they believe as well. But I just don't think that there's anything wrong with telling someone happy birthday. And then they also said that they didn't believe in um what did they say? I guess they don't they treat things herbally first, which I see that's okay. But the thing is, if you are not a medical professional, that I can see how that's a slippery slope. Like, you can go too far. You know what I mean? Because I believe God made doctors, he made medicine, he made all of these things, right? They didn't just come out the air. So yeah, but anyway, we off subject. It's a blessing. That's right. It's a blessing to be in the land of the living. And yeah, yes, I agree. I watch and scroll if I don't agree with that part post. Yeah, if I don't agree with it, like, I'll hear them. I'll hear you out, because you might have a valid point that, maybe I need to hear this, right? Maybe we talked about hearing from God yesterday. Maybe this is God trying to tell me something, but I don't think, just me personally, and feel free to believe what you would like to believe. I don't see anything. If you're not hurting anyone, I don't see anything wrong with it. But um, yeah, I don't think it's wrong to celebrate someone on their birthday. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was really getting at. Okay, so let me get to the devotional. I know. Happy birthday, Miss Naturally Reed, and happy birthday to your baby. Happy birthday. Good morning, Miss Carletta. Now, I ain't gonna, Miss Natarsa, when I did the devotional for this, I was like, this is good. I wish I would have had this information. You know what? I'm not going to read from here. I wish I would have had this information those times that, I needed it. Let's just say that. So today we are talking about, should I spin the block? Should I reconcile with someone romantically? That is what we're talking about, okay? The scripture is two scriptures, okay? And the first is Proverbs 22:3. And it says, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Oh, Lord, and I have been simple and I have paid the penalty. Oh, Lord. All right, so, and then the second verse is 1 Corinthians 13:7-8. Thank you, Miss Cassandra. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. So we have those two opposing scriptures, right? Crazy. I was like, whoa, this is good. Okay, when I read over this. So the devotion says, and this is starting off with like a conversation, girl, don't spin the block. Maybe he's your Boaz and you just needed a break. People change. He'll do it again. When it comes to the idea of reconciling with someone from your past, the opinions come fast and loud, okay? But you know what? God's voice is the one that matters the most. And we really have to get to a point where, you know what? We tune out everyone else's voice, thoughts, opinions. We use discernment, and we listen to what the word says, what God says, because he'll always give you wisdom. We talked about that yesterday. He will always give you wisdom. He'll always direct you. He'll always lead you. He'll always guide your path. He'll never leave you or forsake you. and even in these situations. Reconciliation is holy when done in wisdom. God himself is in the business of reconciliation. Yes, he is, restoring what was broken. But he is also a God of boundaries, discernment, and new beginnings that don't always include old relationships. Sometimes spinning the block is a story of redemption. Two people who grew, forgave, and matured. Other times it's a rerun of a lesson God already delivered you from. And I can testify to that. So before you text back, before you entertain that I miss you text, ask, has there truly been change? And this is good. Have I healed or am I lonely? Am I feeling lonely? Am I looking at this from a broken place? Even if you are in the midst of your healing, because honestly, I know everyone is like, heal, 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 and then get in a relationship. Heal, 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 heal. A lot of times you don't know what you need to work on or heal on until you're in that relationship. The thing is, you need to get in a relationship with the right person, a person that's going to be patient, a person that's understanding that, you know what? Yes, I am self-aware and I'm working on these things, but I am not totally healed. And these are my triggers. And these are the things that sometimes, in a person that can work with that, right? Not, but also let's not beat up on people that way, if you know what I mean. But have I healed or am I lonely? Okay. Do I trust this person with my heart? And this is a big one, and I am guilty of this. I have done this many times. Or am I romanticizing the past? Am I romanticizing the good things and forgetting about all of the not so good things? Is God in this or just my feelings? Okay. God wants you in relationships that reflect his love, peace, and purpose. Okay. Not just chemistry and shared history. And a lot of times history, nostalgia, that feeling, it will get us caught up. It will get us caught up. Okay. Stop. I don't know who this is for. Stop basing decisions on nostalgia. And nostalgia will get you in trouble. Okay, and been there, done it. All right. If he is truly leading you back, he will confirm it with fruit, not just feelings. Okay. Excuse me. There will be clarity, accountability, and alignment with his word. So don't rush. Don't just spin the block. Seek the Lord, okay? His wisdom is better than any what if. And oof, that set it off right there. His wisdom is better than any what if. A lot of times we see people, we see things, we see situations, and please understand you only see the surface. You only see the surface. You never know what's really going on. Let's just be honest. You never, and I mean this with anyone, with your closest friend. You never really know what is going on behind closed doors. I've seen it time and time again. Like, this was going on, but this isn't what you showed. People put on a good show. It's a lot of good actors that should have Academy Awards that I know personally, myself included. Okay, myself included. You never know what is going on with someone, and I think that's why God tells us, like, don't envy, don't be jealous, because you really don't. You really don't know what's going on. Excuse me, but yeah, His wisdom is better than any what if. You know those times where we see that man that we dated and he treated us wrong, and then we see him with that new woman and he doing all these things, and he, you know, uh, you think he really treating her well, and he might be. Let's not get it twisted. I've seen men show up for who they want to show up for. Let's just keep it real. But a lot of times you really don't know what's going on. And sometimes we just have to accept that ain't our man and be okay with it. He didn't choose me. And I'm okay with that because I choose me and God chooses me and I know I'm chosen. It don't matter if he didn't. I feel like he didn't choose me. It's 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 okay. We have to learn how to, especially as women, because men are pretty good with rejection. My husband tells me all the time, we deal with more rejection than y'all really think, and they really do. Living closely with a man, I see a lot of different things. They deal with a lot of rejections. They deal with a lot of no's. They know how to take that in stride. Us women, oh my God, you reject us. What's wrong with us? We really have to stop taking it personally. You just wasn't their person, and it's okay. Like, that doesn't make them a bad person. That doesn't make something wrong with you. It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. Like Ariana Grande said. She said, I could have said, but I said it just didn't work out. Y'all remember that? Y'all know I watch a lot of social media. Anyway, yes, we have to be okay with them not choosing us, okay? And sometimes leave it alone. Because one thing about men, and I know y'all really don't believe this, but it's really, really true. They really don't want to hurt your feelings. And they will go along just to get along, okay? Until they see an opportunity to get out. I have brothers. I have 3 brothers, okay? And I've seen it. They will go along to get along just because they don't want to hurt your feelings, okay? My youngest brother, he's played football. He played football for U of H. He was trying to get into the NFL, but that wasn't his path. And good morning, Miss Patrice. He met this young lady. He lives in Chicago. He met this young lady. She's a lawyer. She makes all of this money. Like, they were just doing all of these things, but he just didn't like her. He just didn't like her like that. He didn't see a future with her. And I say all this because he's dating someone now that he really, really likes or loves. And he calls me about 2-3 times a week asking me, because he's like, you're 47, you're mature, you've been through things. So should I have said this, or should I do this, or da da da? He never asked me any of those questions when he was dating old girl. But he didn't want to ever hurt her feelings. He thought that she was a nice person, that she was cool. And I've seen men do that time and time again. Not saying, not excusing them. Please don't get it twisted. They be making mistakes. They know what they be doing sometimes. But a lot of times they will go along just to get along. And it is what it is. Anyway, sorry. Went off on a tangent. Affirmation. I am worthy of love, rooted in growth, truth, and God's purpose for my life. I do not settle for comfort or familiarity. I know I didn't say that right. I wait for what is godly and good, okay? So sometimes spinning a block can be settling. And I'm here to tell you I've done that, okay? These guys I dated that I desperately wanted another chance with because, I thought that I could do this better or that better to make them, want to marry me or whatever the deal may be. There's a lot of performing that people do in relationships that, we really have to get away from performing. And I've talked about that before. If you feel like you're performing, if you feel like you're putting on an act, if you feel like you have to do this to get this, then yeah, it's probably not good. It's probably not good. I wait for what is godly and good. Absolutely. I in my last relationship with my ex before my husband, I did a lot of performing. It was a lot of, he would get upset and I would go to his house because I had a key to his house, and I would go to his house and clean up his bathroom and change his sheets and all of these things and fold his clothes. And girl, why was I doing all of that? Because I wanted him to either not be upset or to, and it wouldn't even be things that he was upset with me about. Let me not, he wasn't a bad person. He just wasn't my person. But like, he would just get upset about things at work or, stuff that's going on in his jobs. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the house and I'm gonna do all of this stuff, and then and then he's gonna see me, and then he's gonna say, oh, she's wifey material. And let me tell y'all, I was doing this stuff while I was sick, y'all. I was sick. Okay, I was sick going to this man's house doing this stuff, and he would be like, I didn't ask you to do this stuff, but I thought that I had to perform to get him to a point where he would ask me to marry him. And like I said, it wasn't all just me. He had talked about us getting married and all this kind of stuff, but it wasn't our path. It wasn't our path. Good morning, Miss Patricia. Or the goalpost always changes. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. So, affirmation. I read that. So, I'll read again. Thank you, Lord. I am worthy of love rooted in growth, truth, and God's purpose for my life. I do not settle for comfort or familiarity. I wait for what is godly and good. Wait for what is godly and good. And whatever the case may be, not even just romantic relationships. It could be a job. It could be an opportunity. It could be a friendship. It could be whatever. Wait for what is godly and good. Journal prompts. These are some good prompts. What do I honestly feel about reconnecting with this person? Sometimes we really have to get honest with ourselves, okay? Yes, I may miss how they made me feel, but I also might not miss how they made me feel, if you catch my drift. Did they make me feel small? Did they make me feel less than? Did they make me feel like I am not enough? Like, really be honest with yourself. Have I truly healed from what happened or just hidden it? Have I truly healed from what happened or just hidden it? And what would reconciliation look like if God were in the center of it? And let me tell you something. There would be no confusion. We know that from yesterday. You would not be confused. All right? And also, it would be easy. I know that people think, because we think about trials and tribulations with God, we think that maybe things shouldn't be easy. But I don't think that that's true. Just me personally. This is me, not necessarily God. I think with God, things are easy. I think that they flow, right? Like, you might have challenges, right? But both of you can work through those challenges. There might be some trip ups in the situation, but nothing super major that would make you say, what the, nothing like that. I think with God, it flows. It flows easily. I think when you pray that prayer, God, if this ain't the person, I think that person really shows you that they are. You know what I'm saying? In those instances. Anyway, our action step. Before you respond or reach out, pray. Ask God to show you red flags, peace, or confirmation. Talk with a godly friend or mentor, or submit the situation to wise counsel. Do not decide in isolation. Do not decide. Now, that doesn't mean go tell old girl who, like to run up on people. That's not what that means. That means seek God and seek wise counsel, right? Seek discernment in all things. And I think I've said this before. We have to get into being discerning, making good decisions, really submitting everything to God first. So, what are some practical and prayerful ways a feminine woman of faith can make a wise decision when it comes to spinning the block? Okay. First, and we knew this was going to be first, submit the decision to God first. Okay. Before responding to a text or reopening your heart, go into prayer. Ask God, is this from you? And what are you trying to teach me here? Fast if necessary, and sometimes it is. Clarity often comes when the noise is silenced. Okay, you may need to fast from social media. You may need to fast from going out for a week or so, shopping, all the things that we do to comfort ourselves, right? Food. All of things, alcohol, all of things that we do to comfort ourselves, you may need to fast from that in order to really see, is this what, is this okay with God? Is this what God is leading me toward? Because baby, he doesn't lead his sheep astray. Okay, he's a good shepherd. Number two, look at the fruit, not the feelings. Okay, don't just assess how he makes you feel. Look at the fruit of his life right now. Luke 6:43 through 45. Has he shown real growth? Is he walking with God? Are there consistent actions or just sweet words, baby? Because sometimes, woo, those sweet words, those sweet whispers, right? Those sweet nothings in your ear get you going, how you feeling good, but you forget about all those actions that did not align with any of those sweet nothings, okay? Review the original breakup without rose-colored glasses. I think this is called, there's a word for this. Hold on. There's a word for this. And I want to look up the word. That's not the word. Hold on. There's a word for this. No, it's not longer than languishing. Lamenting. No, it's not that. Is it? Maybe. Ruminating. That's what it is. It's not a L. Ruminating. To go over something in your mind again and again, often obsessively or emotionally. In the context of a past relationship, ruminating can look like replaying conversations, obsessing over what went wrong, imagining different outcomes, wondering what if constantly. While some reflection is healthy, rumination keeps you emotionally stuck and drains your peace, especially if you're thinking about spinning the block. All right. Ruminating, ooh, this is good. Ruminating keeps your heart tied to a season God already ended. Don't know who that's for. I hope this is helping others too, because this can definitely be. Yes, it definitely can. It definitely can. You know, some doors God shut, and we need to leave them shut. And some doors, He can make a new door. I don't think He'll necessarily reopen that old door, but He can make a new door. Okay. So, review the original breakup without rose-colored glasses. Why did the relationship end? Were the issues foundational? Like, were they about their character? Did they violate your trust? Were they not aligning with your purpose for your life? Like, those are issues that can't necessarily be resolved that easily. You know what I mean? Have those things truly changed, or just the circumstances around them? Meaning that, okay, maybe this person, we'll just use this example, excuse me. Maybe this person didn't have any money when you met them, and now they have this money, right? But we know that it isn't necessarily about the money, right? It's about their character. They may get some money and still be a booty hole. Okay, it's just what it is. They were a booty hole when they was broke, and now they a booty hole when they got money. So the circumstances may have changed, but not their character. Okay, so really look at those things. Yes, oh, you know, he got it going on now, because you know, you see these guys and they got it going on. Oh wait, he got the haircut. Y'all know a haircut is everything for a man. A haircut and a beard. A haircut and a nice beard. Listen, My husband caught himself shaving down his goatee, and I was like, "Who are you, sir? Who are you? I need you to get that back. I want the gray in it and everything. Okay, that is not." And when I met him, he didn't have a really deep goatee, but he grew it over our relationship, and I was like, "Sir, I need you to get that back." And he'd be like, "Well, you ain't be like this, okay?" And anyway, but y'all know, y'all see those men. Y'all seen those makeovers of those barbers doing those before and afters. Listen, those barbers be working magic with them scissors and them clippers, and oh baby, I be like, goshly, they be making men that I have never even, other nationalities, they be making them look like what? I never would have thunk it. So yeah, you see that ex looking good. He got a little swag about him now. He wasn't looking like that when you was going with him. And now he look like that, but he's still the same person. Inside, he still stank. Looking like Zaddy, that's right. Miracle workers, that's right. They be having these men, but hey, he may look good on the outside, but he be horrible in the inside. And you go out with him and you be like, dang, he's still the same. He's still the same. I've had that. I told y'all. I've had that happen. And let me tell y'all something. And I'm going to just keep it real, be honest. Women be making men look good. It's just what it is. I'ma just keep it real. And I've had to tell my husband this. Because he'll be like, because he tell me everything. He be like, oh, so-and-so said something to me. And I'd be like, oh, she was flirting with you. And he was like, she ain't never flirted with me. You ain't never been married. Well, he's been married, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't been married in 10 years. Now you're married. They see you with this woman and like, listen, I'm going to toot my own horn. I'm not a bad looking chick. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm about looking crazy, but I think I got it going on. If I don't believe it, no one else will. So anyway, women will see men that they have never thought about, okay, never crossed their mind, or maybe that is someone that they dated in the past and they didn't like them, right? And they will see that another woman is it's just like kids. I'll never forget my daughter when she was coming up, and she would have all these toys, and I was like, I'm gonna give your toys to my niece. Oh no, I play with that. I still play with that. No, you don't. The ring attraction, exactly. As I've always said, it's the one behind it. It's the one behind them. And sometimes when they get with a woman, they do look better. Like she done cleaned them up a little bit. It's just the truth. I'm just speaking the truth that I know. Maybe this isn't your truth, but this is mine. They cleaned them up a little bit. They dressing a little bit better. They got a little bit more swag in their step. You know what I'm saying? And then she's on his arm, and you're like, dang, you start reconsidering. Like, yeah, I listen to a lot of music. Like you say, reconsider, read the literature. You start reconsidering. You start reading the literature. You're like, And I'm not judging anyone because I've done that too. You know what I'm saying? I've looked at a man and seen him with her, and I'm like, how you get her? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, well, wait, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? I've never pursued it, but I'm just saying I've thought that thing. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm real transparent, real honest. I thought that same thing. And now I see it with my husband. I'll be like, it's what it is. They see what they are doing for their wife, that too, or girlfriend, and now he the best looking thing when a prior that wouldn't give him a second look. When me and my husband were first dating, we went to the twins. They had a birthday at the time, which this is anyway. They had a birthday, right? They were turning 12 or 13. No, they just turned 13. They were turning 12. So he wanted me to come because, listen, when I met my husband, he was all in. Yeah, okay. And I was still like, and he was like, I want you and Riley and Reagan, but Reagan had to work. So he was like, I want y'all to come to the twins' birthday dinner. We're going to go to Olive Garden, which I was like, but anyway, yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, but you sure you want me to go? Because, like, we had only, their birthday was in February. We had just met in November. And so I was like, you sure you want me to go? I had met the twins, but, you know, this was their birthday party. Their mom was going to be there. I think I had met Mia at that point. So I didn't really want to go, but because I kind of felt uncomfortable, I was just like, you know, but I was like, he really wanted me to go. So I was like, I'll go. Went to the birthday party. The lady that was the waitress at the birthday party was his ex-girlfriend's mom. And at first he was trying to act like he was trying to act like, you know, like he didn't know her, you know, all of this stuff. And she recognized the twins because I guess this was like a few years back. And so she recognized the twins and she was like, are y'all last name Smiley? And da 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 da. And he was like, man, I did not know this woman worked at this Olive Garden. Last time I knew she worked at so and so and blah 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 blah. So he was just, you know, trying to make me comfortable because I'm like, listen, this better not have been a setup. I don't feel that it was based on the actions that have happened. But the girl texted him when she found out, because I guess, you know, her mama went home and told her, like, he had this birthday dinner and he got this woman with him and her child and da 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 da. And so she texted him and she was like, he showed me the text. She said something. Basically, you know, how could he show up and you know, he was like, Nicole, I haven't dated this woman in so and so years and blah 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 blah. But you know, she felt a certain way because of how he showed up, and it's just what happens, okay? It's just what happens. So I say all that to say we cannot look at the circumstances. We have to actually look at that person. The circumstances may have changed. They may have a beautiful woman on their arm, but they could still be public enemy number one, okay? It still could be, okay? So examine your own heart and motives. Okay, that was a good one to kind of tie into that. Are you healed or just hoping? Are you lonely or truly led? Do you want him back? Or do you just want closure or attention? Do you want him back truly? Or do you want to just say, do you want to get your lick back? Because for me, it was I wanted my lick back. At first, it was I wanted him back. But then it was I want my lick back. Now, can I say I got my lick back? Maybe. Lord, I'm not proud of myself. But in the end, it just wasn't. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I think that's why the Lord says vengeance is his. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. So, yeah. Do you want to just get your lick back? It's an honest, valid question. Because sometimes that's what it's all about. I just want to show this person that I was all this. But let me tell you something. You don't have nothing to prove to nobody. The only person that you need approval from is the Lord above. And that's it. That's all. Of course, we want our loved ones and the ones we care about to love us and approve of us. But the final approval, it comes from God. Yes, essentially. I thought, you know, listen, I told y'all, me and my ex, we talked after, you know, and I thought there was going to be something different. You know, I thought I was, you know, because he was like, you know, I want you back. he has told me all of this stuff and everything, right? Um, and I truly thought that, maybe we would reconcile, because me and my husband at the time were still really new. So I was just like, oh, well, maybe this is it. And then the good Lord, so good, thank you, Lord, he spoke to me and he said, that's over. That's not for you. That's not for you. And I was able to tell him, I'm with somebody. And I didn't say it like in a way to try to hurt his feelings or any of that. And then this is the tea. Let me tell y'all the tea. He was with somebody. He was dating somebody. Okay, so he was trying to get back with me, and he was dating somebody else. He had a backup in case I was like, no. Okay, and that tell y'all. So you really, that's why the good Lord goes before us. Okay, that's why he knows everything that's going on. He knew exactly how that situation was going to play out. And it was up to me, because God is a gentleman and he gives you free will to make your own decisions, to listen to him, because he will tell you, but to listen to him and say, you know what, I'm dating someone and I think this might be, I didn't say this might be it, but I was thinking in my head, you know what, this might be the one. I'm going to go ahead and pursue this relationship. Because again, we were still really new. But I could have said, you know what, I'm going to go back with him and been in a whole mess. Hurt somebody else up in the process. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I follow Michael Baisman. Nasty. We all grown. He has suspicion of the sex kept in a relationship longer than you should have been, or having you run it back. That's true. That will happen. That will happen. But honestly, I'm at the point in my life where that doesn't really matter to me anymore. I'm just being honest with you. I am at the point of my life where, listen, and I'm gonna just say this, and I know this is a Christian devotional, but D is of low value, okay, and in abundance. It is of low value and in abundance, okay? You can get that from anywhere. It is not valuable, not like our stuff. Well, for the most part. It is of low value and it is in abundance, okay? There's no, it'll never run out. It will never run out. That's okay. I need so much more. I need so much more. You are not impressing me with that, sir. In fact, go put that up. I don't need it. I don't need it. Like, are you emotionally available? Are you mature? Do you get angry? Can you handle business? Are you responsible? What's your credit score? Can you pay bills? Like, those are the things that, listen, I could care less about no. I could care less about that. I've had plenty of that. I have 4 kids. I'm good. So yes, do you want him back, or do you just want closure or attention or your lick back? Okay. That sounds crazy. Anyway, yes. Can you provide? Can you protect? Do you talk to God? Like, these are the things that do you have a personal relationship with Jesus? These are the things that I need to know. Not what you slanging, what's hanging. I don't need to know none of that. All right. That don't even matter in the grand scheme of things, to be honest. And honestly, when I was younger, I never thought that would be the case, but it's definitely the case. My mama said that. Baby, them mamas don't be lying. But anyway, remember your identity. Right. Do you want a mama or a wife? Absolutely. Remember your identity. You are a daughter of the King. And please, please remember this. You are deserving of love, honor, and clarity. Reconciliation shouldn't come at the cost of your dignity, peace, or standards. That's a very high price to pay. So please, please, if they are going to mess up your name, if they are going to embarrass you in a way that you would never want to be embarrassed, because sometimes men embarrass us with silly things like my husband wearing them Hey Dudes. I'd be like, why do you like them shoes? But you know, that's not serious. I'm talking about you seen him somewhere with another woman. Did he embarrass you? Did he take away your peace? Is he violating your boundaries? Is he not meeting your standards? Still, the second time around, because baby, time should teach you some things, not make you dumber. Okay, and I'm just keeping it real. It should teach you some things. Absolutely, Miss Cassandra, mature woman. When I was younger, I didn't think of any of those things. And I thank the Lord for wisdom. Softness is not weakness. You can be gentle and wise, okay? Talk to godly counsel. Speak to a trusted mentor, therapist, or spiritual leader, which I am none of those things. I can only give you information based on my experience and what I know from my personal relationship with Jesus. So I say that to say, thank y'all for bringing topics here. But know that I am not the final word, okay? He is, and whoever he leads you to get that final word from. Okay? Even though this may serve as confirmation when you need it, and I'm grateful for that. I just want you to know, like, I am not, you should know that by now. I'm not a pastor, a teacher, or a preacher, okay? I'm a woman after God's own heart, okay? Along with y'all, and we are doing this thing together. We are walking together with Jesus, all right? So, now that you know, if you didn't. So speak to a trusted mentor, therapist, or spiritual leader. Not the friend who always says go for it, okay? But someone who will pray and tell you the truth. Yes. That friend that, that's a true friend though. A true friend will tell you the truth rather than what you want to hear. And we really have to learn how to take that advice, receive that advice. That is the thing that, we always talk about as feminine women, we need to receive. That is something that we need to receive as well. Sometimes we have to receive instruction. Sometimes we have to receive wisdom. Sometimes we have to receive criticism. Like sometimes we have to receive those things, those negative things as well, because they make us better. Well, they're not negative. I wouldn't say they're negative. That constructive information that makes us better, constructs us into a better person, right? I will say that. Yeah. Make a list of non-negotiables and watch for alignments. Yes. Not a shallow checklist. Those negotiables those non-negotiables we just talked about, right? Not the thing that's low value and abundant, okay? Not a shallow checklist, but spiritual and emotional non-negotiables like honesty, consistency, emotional safety, shared faith. Those are the real non-negotiables, right? Not whether he is 6'9", because baby, that don't mean nothing. And I say that because my ex was 6'9". Whether he was 6'9" or drove a fancy car, or listen, things are never what they seem. Things are never what they seem. People be out here playing in people's face. And that, I'm just keeping it real. The hard conversation, yes. The hard conversations. And it's so funny because when me and my husband started dating, he wanted to have all the hard conversations. I did not. I was like, I've been through enough hard things, sir. I don't want to have the hard conversations. Let's just have fun. That's where I was at. And he was like, well, no, we need to talk about these things and that things. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. But when I truly understood that this man might be my husband, I was like, okay, we got to have those hard conversations. If he doesn't align, you may be trying to revive something God already removed. Pay attention to peace or pressure. God's confirmation feels like peace, okay? Even if there's some challenges, it feels like peace. If you feel anxious, confused, or like you're forcing it, pause. I told y'all, like, right after I broke up with my ex, and then I took time off from dating and stuff, and then I met, well, I didn't meet a guy that I had dated before. He asked me about dating again, and I was like, okay. And then I just really started thinking about how our last interactions went, and I was like, no. And then we had talked on the phone a few times, and we had set up a date. And I told him, I said, you know what? I ain't the one for you. And I told him just like that. I was like, I'm not the one. And he was like, well, what are you talking about? You don't want to go on a date with me? And I was like, no. I was like, be blessed. We cool. But I don't want to date you. I don't want to date you. And he was like, well, wow, what did I do? And there were things that he did. And I was like, I'm not even getting into that. I'm just not the one for you. And I was really proud of myself because the old me would have just dated him for the comfort. You know what I'm saying? Just not to be lonely. But I was like, no, like, you're not taking up my man's space. I don't really like you like that. No. And after that, I met my husband. Not too far. So, if it feels anxious, confused, or like you're forcing it, pause. Create boundaries during the discernment phase. You don't owe immediate access to your heart or body. Okay? You do not owe immediate access to your heart or body. Even though if that person had that access before, and we know how that goes, that don't mean that. And I don't care what they say, because you know some men will be like, well, we did that before. I don't care. You're meeting a new person, sir. Consider this a new body, whether it looks the same or not. No. No. Yes, you have to know your value. Absolutely. It's okay to reestablish a connection slowly with accountability and intention. Finally, ask, does this move me closer to God or away from Him? And that is really good. Is this relationship moving me closer to God? Do we ever ask that? Like, really? Do we really, really ever think about that? I know we think about ourselves, and that's okay. Like, that's, we're human. That's how God made us. But do we ever really think about, is this going to move me closer to God or further away? That's a very good question to ask in any relationship, not just reconciliation. Is this relationship moving me closer to God or far away? A healthy relationship will draw you deeper into your purpose and faith, not distract you from it. If you feel you have to shrink, compromise, or hustle for His love, performing, He's not it. He's not it. So, real quick, because I know it's 8, I just want to talk about romanticizing the past. And I want to talk about that because that's something that I would do. I would think about all of the good times and forget about the bad, right? And I don't know, let me not say that. I know that's what I would do. And it would get me in a lot of trouble. It would get me back in situations and opening doors that God closed, burned, threw away, okay? And I was over there trying to put the door back together so I could reopen it. So we have to learn not to romanticize the past. Romanticizing the past means you're looking back on a relationship with a selective memory, focusing mostly on the sweet moments while minimizing or ignoring the real problems that led to the breakup. This is what it sounds like. We had such a strong connection. He was the only one that really got me. Maybe I overreacted. It wasn't that bad. I've said that. People make mistakes. We all do. Yeah, I've said that too. I've said all of those. While some of that might be true, romanticizing makes you emotionally vulnerable to a fantasy, not a reality. And listen to me when I say this. You have to look at it from a place of discernment. You have to look at all sides like a Rubik's Cube, okay? And they all better be together. Everything better match up, okay? Don't just look at the good times. Look at how that person treated you when you were down, when you were vulnerable. when you needed something from that person, whether it was emotionally or even physically or even financially. I told my daughter, and I'm just keeping it real, when she was old enough, you shouldn't be having sex with anyone that cannot help you in an emergency. And we're all grown here. It's just what it is. They can't help you in an emergency. And I don't care how old you, because I've seen, like I said, I have younger brothers, and I've seen them do all kind of things, and they ain't got no money. Call my mama and ask my mama for some money. Ask me for some money to help a girl. So you can say what you want. I've seen them do what they gotta do for a girl that they like. So if he can't help you in an emergency, you should not be opening your legs, man. I should not. Your daddy or me, you shouldn't have to call us and get you out of situations if you got a boyfriend, if that's who he say he is. So anyway, um, why do we do it? We do it because of loneliness or longing. When you're in a soft, reflective season, the memories feel comforting. They do, even if the reality wasn't. Okay. Unfinished healing. We talked about that. If you haven't fully processed the breakup, the heart tries to rewrite the ending, and it does. It really does. So make sure that you are taking time to heal as much as you can. Again, I understand. I'm not a person to say you can't. You have to truly be healed and 100%, because a lot of things, again, you don't know that you need to work on until you get in a relationship. Just make sure that you practice discernment with the person that you're entering a relationship with. Um, Desire for redemption. You want to get your leg back. And no, that's not what that means. As a woman of faith, you believe in restoration and change, and that's beautiful. But sometimes that hope clouds discernment, and it does. We, as people, and I think that this is a good thing about us, and we should never change this about us. We try to see the good in people. There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't ever want y'all to change that about yourselves, and I don't want to change that about me. However, you still have to couple that with discernment. They go hand in hand. Seeing good about this person, seeing the good things in them, but knowing that they're not on the same path with you. Y'all are not aligned. Y'all don't have the same purpose. Y'all are not going in the same destination or the same journey. These things go hand in hand, right? So start putting them together, not just, oh well, he was good, and when I had this going on he helped me, and da 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 da, but then I saw him with another woman at so and so kissing her, but you know what, he was going through this and he was feeling. Listen, two things I will never ever do in my life again. I will never ever let someone tell me they don't want me twice. And I don't mean that with words. I mean that with actions. I will never, ever, if you, for 1 minute, I believe from your actions or your words that you don't want me, it's cool. I'm good on you. I will never, ever, ever let a man, or anyone for that matter, tell me they don't want me twice. All right. And the second thing is, I will never, ever believe that someone that cares about me would do something to put them in jeopardy of losing me. And what I mean by that is that they consider, will Nicole, and I'm speaking for me, will Nicole stick around, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, whatever, marriage, will Nicole stick around if I do this? And if for 1 minute they think that they might lose me because they've done this, they don't do it. And that's it. That's all. If you ever put our relationship in jeopardy like that, whatever my non-negotiables are, if you cross them, we can't. Because once, even if we can reconcile, I'll never trust you, right? I'll never be able, we'll never be back at that place mentally. Even if I could, even if we could move on from it. And I can't live like that. Just me personally. So if you ever put our relationship in jeopardy, if I'm not that precious to you that you would do something, because that's a lot of times what it is. You're not that precious to them, and it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You not that precious to them. If they did something to violate your boundaries, your standards, whatever it is your non-negotiables are, then they don't really hold that much value in what you have. And I'm just keeping it real. And I'll never, I just, never say never. The good Lord, maybe he'll change my heart on that. But today, no. So I ain't saying that that's what y'all gotta do, but that is my practice. You will never ever tell me. I will never. It only took one time. It's either you did it by action, or you did it by, or you did it by your words. You ain't gonna. You tell me you don't want this no more. Either how you acted or what you said. Peace. And let us end it this way, because we don't want to end it the other way. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that hope can cloud discernment. Fear of starting over. It's easy to glorify what's familiar when the idea of being alone feels overwhelming, and you really have to get in touch with you really not in touch, but get comfortable with being by yourself, alone, not lonely, but alone. Okay. The danger of romanticizing. And I'm almost done, y'all. You may re-enter into something toxic that God delivered you from. Sometimes his deliverance is easy, right? Sometimes, that person just goes away. Like something just happens and, it's over. And even though maybe you're shook up inside emotionally, it was easy. Like you didn't have to do anything or go through anything, tragic or anything like that, right? But then that person comes back. And then you're trying to like make that work again. And honey, when you try to get out of it the next time, it's so hard. It's so freaking hard. Ask me how I know. There were plenty of times where my first husband did things and we could have just ended and it could have been cool, right? And maybe I wouldn't have gotten my kids. I don't know. Only God knows. But when the time came, when we had broke up and then we had got back together, the very last time we had got back together, I went through hell. Woo, I don't want to cry. I went through hell getting out of that situation. Ain't no other way to put it. I had to do things that I did not want to do. If you catch my drift. It was very, very, very hard getting out of that situation. So let me tell you, if God closes the door, if he delivers you from it, and it's easy, please run. Run the opposite direction, okay? Go the other way. Do not go back thinking about the past and thinking about, okay, well, they did this, or because for me, this was me. We're married. We have these kids. I want them to grow up with their father. I was really big about that. Like, I want them, even though he wasn't a great dad. Just keeping it real. He's trying now, and I thank God for that. But he wasn't a great dad. He wasn't even here. He wasn't even there. I was there by myself most of the time anyway. What was I thinking? Right? I don't want that for any of y'all. If you are delivered from a situation, and especially if it was an easy deliverance, let it go. Let it go. Like that old thing says, let it go. And if they come back and it's easy, then maybe. But don't go running back toward that situation, okay? Thinking that there's not better. You don't know what you could have delayed. Maybe me and my husband could have been married years ago. Maybe we could have had another baby. I don't know. I'll never know. But I do know I went through hell. All right. What was I saying? Lord. You might start settling for potential instead of being rooted in evidence. Look at the facts, not your feelings. You can confuse chemistry with confirmation, thinking the butterflies mean it's right. Listen, the butterflies is your nervous system telling you that this ain't good. Okay, that's your fight or flight system. Okay, please be aware. Someone that makes you feel at peace, someone that makes it feel easy, not makes you feel nervous. No. That's it's not. You delay your healing and possibly your true love story by entertaining the past. It's like that. It's like that meme that you see where the little girl is holding her bear, right? And she holding that bear, and she's like, "No, Jesus, I don't want to give you that bear. I don't want to give you the bear." And then Jesus got this big old bear right there, that he's holding on to, and he's gonna give you that big old bear, but you gotta let go because you can't hold both of them. This is a big old bear, right? This is a big old bear. This is a big old blessing. You can't hold that and this little bear. You can't hold both. Right? Can't give you both. And that's when you got to make a decision to give up that little bear for that big old bear. Okay? I hope I'm making sense. Y'all know I'm a little crazy. What to do instead? Revisit the whole story, not just the highlight reel. And man, I'm praying for my youngest daughter right now about the same subject. And we will pray as well. Because, baby, where 2 or 3 are agreed, 2 or more. Why I say 2 or 3? He is in the midst. So we will be praying for you too, for your daughter too, Miss Angela. I'm making it up. Revisit the whole story, not just the highlight reel. Journal about how the relationship made you feel in hard moments, not just the good ones. And that is important. We try to ignore the hard stuff, baby. And you cannot heal from things that you do not address. Okay, so you need to look at that. Pray and ask God to help you see the truth, not just what you wish had happened. Not just what you wish had happened. Okay? Remember, softness doesn't mean naivety. Okay? As a feminine woman of faith, you're called to love deeply, but also walk in wisdom, clarity, and courage. Because it does take a lot of courage to say, you know what, I don't want that for myself anymore, right? And pat yourself on the back for that. Like, you are brave. A lot of people are settling in life, but you are not. And that needs to be commended. That needs to be commended. You are trusting God. To sit here, to surrender your life to Jesus and to trust God with your whole entire heart and being, that is bravery. That is courage. A lot of people just are following the status quo, but not you. And that means something. Don't think that it doesn't. And I love this part. And I think that this is really the gist of everything that we talked about this morning. Let your heart be tender, but your discernment be strong. You can have a tender heart. You can be warm and loving. You can believe the best about people, but still practice the discernment. Ask God to strengthen you. Baby, Lord, we are asking you right now, Jesus, to come and strengthen our discernment. Help us to be wise. You said, Lord, if we ask for wisdom, that you would give it to us, Lord. And so we are asking for wisdom, not just in this situation, but all situations. Give us discernment with everyone that we meet, every situation that we face, every decision that we have to make. Lord, we ask for discernment. We ask for your best, not just better, not what we think will be good, but your godly best. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Listen, that was really good. Thank you for that subject, Miss Natarsa. I don't know if you're still on here, but because I know it's 8:18. But baby, that was good. That was good. we might need to replay this one. I don't know. I might need to listen to this one again because that was good. So I hope it helps someone. It helped me. I'm not even in that situation. It helped me to know that I ain't going back there, baby. I ain't going back there, not ever, ever again. So, yes. I hope it helped y'all. I won't keep y'all any longer. I pray and intend that you have the best Wednesday. Ladies, tomorrow's Thursday. We need to pick and write down. Okay, there you go, Mr. Tyson. We need to pick. Tomorrow, don't y'all come on here without a book title, okay? We got to pick some books for our book club, and we're going to do the book club meeting in September, so we will have all of August. Also, next week, let me look at my calendar. Next week, I won't be on. I'll be taking a little break because I'm going to have pork chop full-time. Riley will be going back to school. So I'm going to take a little break, if y'all don't mind, because I love y'all, but I got to take care of me. And after tomorrow, we will not resume until Wednesday the 13th. So I'm taking a bit of a break. Riley goes back to school on the 12th. My daughter goes back to work next week. Poor Chop will be here all day. I want to get him like on a little schedule, get him acclimated, have me a schedule, a routine, and I need time to be able to do that. So I hope that y'all don't mind. I need a little break. But I will be back. Let me write that down. August 13th. And by August 13th, and of course, I'll still be vlogging and I'll still post in our posts. So we can decide a book, so we can start reading it. And then like into September, we'll do our first book club meeting. We can have a book club and we can kiki, all this stuff that we like to do, you know. So start thinking of a book tonight, because tomorrow I need a list of books, and then I can do a post and we can do a poll and vote on it, and then we can have our book to read. Yeah, so, but I hope y'all don't mind me taking a break. I need a little break. Get my little stuff in order before this boy is here full time, baby, because poor Chop is a full-fledged toddler, and him and this puppy, it's a lot, okay? It's a lot. It can be any book, not too spicy, okay? We can have a little spice. I'm okay with a little spice, like a little Kennedy Ryan spice. You know, she got them little parts, but I don't want to read an erotic novel. I'm just going to say that, okay? I don't want to do that, right? Yeah, we're going to do a Zoom, not in August. We're going to do it in September. We're not going to do one next one. We're going to do it in September. It's going to be our book club. And we can take a few hours and do book club and kiki and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do need a break, Miss Cassandra. Once again, family comes first, and thank God. Yeah, I'll be back. I can't, like, I promise y'all, I'll be sleepy in the morning. I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired. But then when I come in here, like, I'm rejuvenated. It's like, this is my thing. Like, I love doing this devotional with y'all. I didn't know that I would. And, you know, God knows. He be knowing. You be knowing it. You be knowing, Jesus. Jesus be knowing. I need a shirt that say Jesus be knowing, because he be knowing. This is exactly what I needed. Oh, teachers, yeah, the students go back on the 12th. My daughter starts on the 4th. So, yeah. And yeah, poor Chop be busy. Y'all saw him when I put him out that thing yesterday. He was ready. He was on go. So we're gonna get him acclimated. We gotta get this puppy acclimated. And then, like, my husband actually went out of town yesterday, and he's talking about he might have to go out of town a few more times. So your girl gotta get it together, right? The summer is over. It's over. I gotta get back on some routines. I got my content that I gotta be doing. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff. I got my job I gotta do. So yeah. It gets my day started too. It does. It really does. But I love y'all. I won't keep y'all any longer. It's almost 8:30. I'm sorry, y'all. My plan is not keep y'all here past 8. But, you know, we had some stuff to say. We had to work it on notes. But I love y'all. I pray and intend for y'all to have the most amazing Wednesday. I will see y'all on tomorrow at 7-ish a.m. And don't come on here without no book, y'all. I'm going to have my list of books. I want to compile a list. And then we can narrow it down. And then I can do a poll, okay? Love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Yes, I'm married happily.